Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. It has been nearly 4 weeks. I recorded last on the 21st of September, or released it that day, and today is the 18th of October. I'm really very sorry and I will explain why in a second. But hello and welcome. My name is Anne and I live in Worcestershire with my hubby and our dog. Not sure whether Bert's behind me at the moment or not. You may see him. He's normally moving about behind me. It's nearly 4 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon and I've been into Worcester today with my mum. So I've got a bit of makeup on. I'm dressed up properly instead of slobbing around the house. And I thought I'd take the opportunity to nip in and have a chat to you before you forget who I am. So, welcome back, and I'm really sorry about the delay. But as you know, I have been making some charity bags to send out to various people in the UK, and 4 of them are going internationally, which is lovely. And it's taken me far longer than I anticipated, because I've really paced myself to go not too fast, not to do too much in any given day. And it's just taken me longer than I'd anticipated. But I'm not complaining because I've loved every minute of it. It got a bit frustrating sometimes when I couldn't do as much as I thought I could do in a day. You know, like before you realise where you are, it's 8 o'clock at night. But it's also given me a good opportunity to go through some of my stash and sort out what I want to keep and what, you know, it's perfectly lovely stuff still, but I don't know what to do with it. It's a single skein. And so some of those I've split up as well into 10 and 5 gram minis so that I can share them in the charity bags. Because sometimes you buy something that's really pretty and it's got lots of different colours in it, but actually apart from socks, and you know I don't do sock knitting, there isn't anything else I can think of to put it into. And I've kept a couple of little bits and pieces back to put in blankets because I like the colours, but generally speaking I've just gone for it and shared the whole lot with people. So that's what I've been up to, and that's why I've not been around. I am at the stage now where I still have a couple of bags to make. I've run out of wadding. You see, these are the sort of things that set you back, and I'm waiting for that to arrive, but I am hoping to post out the majority of the stuff tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So let's go back and pretend this is just another ordinary podcast, which it is. So, to remind you that everything I talk about is down below, and if there's anything I don't mention that you want a reference to or you want a link to, let me know and I will let you have it, or I'll find it. At the moment we're only running one mail, which is something new in 22, which will end probably the end of November, so that I can put something in the post to people, even if it doesn't arrive before the end of the year, depending where it's going. But also we have 2 prizes to give out, which I'll mention at the end of the podcast. One of them is for the bob along, and the other one is for the 600 subs, which we did last time based on comments that were put below the video. Do you remember that far back? Anyway, so yes, I will do another make along, and I think, let's be sensible about this, I have every intention of podcasting for the foreseeable future. So I'm thinking I'll have one annual make along that people can put things into, but I'll have a summer, like sort of one to September to March, and then another one from March to April to September. That doesn't make sense. October, November, start on the 1st of October and run to the end of March, and then from April to the end of September, and split the year into 2. And every time we come round to October, it will be a jump along. So that will be jumpers, please, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere. As long as they've got sleeves like we did last year, they can be jumpers or cardigans, adult sizes. But I might say, because vests or what we used to call tank tops or sleeveless jerkins, whatever you want to call them, are very on vogue at the moment. Let's include them this winter, because I don't mean little strappy cami tops, but where you've got like basically a sleeveless jumper. If you want to make one of those and you want to enter it into the jump along, then please feel free. I will start a thread on Ravelry when I'm next on my laptop, because it's much easier on there. So because I've done all that bad making and skeins and labelling and twisting and turning and all that, I haven't done a lot of knitting. So I haven't got very much to talk about knitting wise. But I will tell you, first of all, what I'm wearing. And I'm wearing my Jadeite jumper, which is a design by Emma Vining. And if you can see, the neck has a little bit of a stitch design. And it's also on the sleeves. I don't know if you can see that. I might have to put photographs in. I'm using my GoPro again. And the advantage of using the phone is I could see what I was doing. I've got no idea if you can even see me at the moment. Am I in frame? I hope so. So this is knitted in Triskelion Idris. I don't know if he still does it, but it's BFL. My first introduction to Blueface Leicester. And I bought this colour, which is Cofgod, at the Bristol Wool Fair, and I think 2016. Echoes like. And then I've got a cowl on. I'm getting a bit warm in the house, but I'll keep it on while I've got while I'm doing the podcast. It's a very long, one of these long cowls. Hit myself in the face with it. It's got rib. It's got a little bit of lace, like column, like a fancy rib really, wide. And then some more stripes, and then a pretty lacy end, which comes to a point, so it sits nicely under a coat. You know, if you had a V-neck coat, you know what I mean, with revers and that, it would sit nicely in there. But this pattern isn't available. This is the Moon Garden, which I did as a test knit for Ruth at Knitterarium. Some of you may remember Ruth. She was a really nice Irish lady who used to sit and chat very comfortably about her designs. She loved knitting, and she was getting to designing some really nice things, accessories. I did a couple of test knits for her, and I've got all of her shawl patterns, I think, or most of them, to knit up, because as I say, they're not available anymore. She lost her mum fairly quickly, I think, and it sort of was a catalyst to her changing a lot of things in her life, and she ended up she wasn't interested. I don't know if she's still knitting, whether she left it full, abandoned it for a bit, but she stopped designing and started running instead, sort of thing. But yeah, I miss Ruth. I do miss her a lot. She was one of the first really regular podcasters I used to watch back in my early days, and there was far less choice then of podcasters as well. So yeah, miss her. Hope she's doing well. So that's what I'm wearing. I'm getting a bit warm. I've been into Worcester today with Mum, and I needed this. It was quite cold early on. It's comfortable. I like the colour of the yarn that, and it's wearing quite well. It does pill a little bit, the Idris, but overall I just love the colour. It's quite tonal when you look at it in real life. Pretty. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. Oh, sorry. And the yarns from the cowl are Eden Cottage. I think it's a 75-25 merino. The brown, well, it's almost like a purpley brown called dark oak, and the pink is called hydrangea. They're both nice tonal colours that Victoria does very well. There we are. That's what I'm going to tick that off surreptitiously in my book. Okay. Well, what have I been doing? Well, I finished something. Is well, did I show you this last time? I finished the pull drops and it's been washed and blocked. So I'll show you the pull drop shawl in its entirety. Obviously I can't hold it up, but I'll give you a little bit of a close up on the lace. So it's garter and then an eyelet lace pattern. Quite simple to do, and it's a shallow crescent shawl. Now this really pretty yarn is the Blossom colourway from Wildflower Yarns. Now I think there's quite a stark difference between the two skeins. Say stark. The bottom of the shawl looks a lot darker to me than the top. I don't think my friend's going to notice that. It's not something that stands out as being really obvious, but I probably fell off the screen then. Oh, I'm such an amateur. But I love the colours that you know, the speckles and that are just right up my street. So this is for Judy, my friend. She's well, she doesn't watch this, I can tell you. She's in her late 70s, and the pattern should have had another repeat of the lace and then a little bit of garter at the bottom, not a full repeat of garter. And I had the yarn for it, but I decided after I'd done the lace repeat that it was getting a bit too big for Judy. I think she's quite a petite lady, and I know she wears scarves, but it would have been one of these where you'd have to wrap it round twice. So now it's been blocked, it can go round comfortably round once with a knot, you know, from the back of the neck to the front, or she could loop it and shove the ends, yeah, to the loop, have a loop once. Yeah. I'm not even going to try and show you because I can't reach that much. But yeah, really pretty, really pleased with that. All I need to do now is meet Judy and give it to her. So that's my one finished item. And then, because I've been busy all day, every day doing the bags and the skein, the other night I finally decided to cast on something new, and this is the start of it, and it's really pretty colours. This is the Maple colourway by Alison of Biff Sugar Yarns, and it's the start of the Amber Shore shawl. Put it down below, and it's a pattern by Inese Sang, I-N-E-S-E, Inese Sang, on Ravelry, and I'm using this as the starting colour. The only thing, I prefer my shawls to be generally reversible, preferably, but you can't always get the nice patterning then. So it is garter. It's not garter, it's a stocking stitch. But it won't be long now until I do it a bit more and then start the next colour. And the two other colours, if you look at the picture of the pattern, it has got a sort of a yellowy colour, and now I'm going to do that with this golden fleece. And these are all merino, cashmere and nylon, so they feel really nice. And this one is garnet, and they're all from Alison at Biff Sugar Yarns, and they're all gorgeous. And this will be, instead of it's called Storm, the original yarn colourway. I don't think it's one that's available over here. I think it's a US pattern, but this is where the dark blue or grey, when you look at the pattern photo, is. There are crochet bobbles to be done in, that's my phone falling on the floor, in this colour, but I haven't got that far yet. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be quite a nice big shawl, and we're going to need it, aren't we, because it's going to be, you know, now we know what our heating bills are going to be this year, even with the government handouts. You know, they give you something in one hand and then the energy companies take it away in the other. I can't complain because I've already had additional money off the government for being disabled. So yeah, this is the Amber shawl, and of course I'll make some progress on this and show you next time. So I'm pleased with that. Now, I'm going to come back to you in a sec and show you, update you on the saga of the yellow fluff. Right, let's talk about the yellow fluff. Now, I chatted to Penny and Maggie, who I met not long after talking to you and showing you the photos of the yellow fluff that I'd ordered from Emma at Yarnworthy, and I was sort of thinking about approaching Emma after realising that I probably wouldn't use it, especially, I mean, she'd been 1 or 2 skeins, but it was 4, you know, and you get quite a lot of meterage. There was enough there to put into a jumper. I thought, no, I'm going to end up with something that I can't use. Not that I didn't like it, but it wasn't what I was expecting. And they said to me, no, I think you should take it up with her. So I wrote her an email saying, you know, I don't think this fits. It's the same as the photograph, and it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting from the name and from the photo some toffee tones, you know, like some browns and things. And she wrote back and said, I totally agree. You know, how can I resolve this with you? And that, as far as I'm concerned, sorted it, you know, because what we agreed was I sent her the yellow yarn back, and she sent me a replacement that she had in stock at the time, or she said she would dye me up some more. What had happened, according to Emma, the dye that she was using had changed, so that meant that the colours came out differently, and she hadn't updated her website, and that's fine, you know. And I don't think it had clicked with her that she was sending out something that really didn't look like what she'd sold. So I chose a colour. She told me what she had in stock that had 4 skeins, but did say she'd dye for me. And predictably, I chose this. This is called Eat Your Greens, and it is a luscious, it's a Suri alpaca again, and it is a very tonal green. I don't know, I might have to put photographs in, but it's got very, from bottle green to almost an emerald, and I wouldn't say I could wear an emerald, but I think overall the tones are fine for this, and I'm more than happy. So she sent me these 4, I sent her the 4 yellow back, and then she sent me, in addition to that, she sent me a little discount to take off my next purchase, which I may have used. I haven't got any yarn dye, remember. Now I bought this because I knew I had several greens already from Emma when I bought a sort of fade set. I think it was to do with one of the Stephen West shawls from, not last year, maybe the year before, and I bought that, not for the shawl, to make a jumper. So bearing in mind that, I've got the greens at the loft, because one of the advantages of looking for things to skein up for the charity bags was that I could go through some of the bags in the loft. And I have got this from Emma already. This is these are all British superwash BFL, and this one is called Secret Garden, and it is tonal, goes perfectly with that, although you wouldn't see very much contrast. And then you've got this one, which is a bit lighter. You can see it is a little bit lighter. Hopefully you can see that. And this one is called Eat Your Greens, same as the Suri alpaca. And in fact, if you put them side by side, you can see that they are the same colourway. And then next is I think it's probably this one in the set, which is Climbing the Walls, and this has got mustard in, grey, green, lovely. And then finally the lightest one is Creep, and that is a paler tonal green, a few speckles, green speckles, and you know, quite frankly, they're going to look lovely. And I'm thinking of doing a sort of faded melange type doodah thingy bob, and I don't know, but I quite fancy a roll neck. I don't think it's going to itch me, or a cowl neck, because I've got so much yarn. You know, I could probably knit a 1960s jumper and trouser ensemble or crochet one, but you know, I'd never do that. And then in addition to that, I've got which is called Secret Garden by Emma, and this is lovely, and I've got two of these. I've got far too much yarn. I really do need to go on this yarn diet starting on at the end of the once I've had my advents, because no matter what they offer or anything, I've got such fantastic yarn that I'm not doing it justice just by sitting in the loft. The pleasure of buying it is one thing, yeah, lovely, fantastic, but I really need to use it and do it justice, and it just sat there. So yeah, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got a set of 4 that I bought us, and then I've got that additionally, which tones in lovely, and I've got a Suri alpaca on top of that. So I've got 4 ply plus Suri alpaca, which means I can do a double knitting pattern, and that would be lovely. Any ideas? Let me know what you think. Bearing in mind it's going to be different colours. I might stripe it rather than melange it, fade it, whatever you want to call it. We'll see. But these are all together now, and they're going to be all stored in a big bag together, and they will be used together. So you should always give your yarn dyer a chance. You know, if you've got an issue, I wasn't angry with it or anything, you should let them know politely. You know, I always say, if you're going to complain, do it with a smile on your face. I know somebody said, well, I don't want to buy yarn from the dyer, but this is the only time, and I brought a fair bit, as you can see from her. Her pictures are normally very, very accurate to what you get, it arrives in the post. So, yeah, no problems there. And Emma, you know, is such a good dyer. What she does is, a lot of it is right up my street. Fortunately and unfortunately, because it doesn't do my bank balance any good. But, you know, we're only here once. So yes, a green jumper, another green jumper is on the horizon, and I've got that at the loft, and it will be used in the nearish future. I've still got the Amma sweater on the needles. I need to pick up for the sleeves, that's all, and basically that all it means is getting the needles off, getting the stitches off the cables. I don't even have to pick it up. I need to get that done, and then I can wear it. And I'm going to knit on the Fleuriste, but that's going to be a long-term project, because that's going to take a long time to do. I might not even finish it in the 6 months that we've got for the jump along. We'll see. Okay, so I've yattered, as you do, as I do, yattered through all that. In terms of incoming, I haven't had anything that I can, no, I've been reasonably good this month. I've had bits and pieces, but nothing that I can either show you, because it's part of presents for other people and they watch the podcast, or occasionally I've just made them into skeins. I bought them specifically to make into minis. So there you go. So I'm going to just talk now briefly about where I've been and what I've been up to, and then we'll talk about the winners for the 2 competitions. So since the 21st of September I've been out a little bit. I saw Penny and Maggie just after I podcast last time, and then I also visited my friend who passed away, her mum, who lives in Bidford. I went to see her. We took her out to lunch, me and my other 2 school friends, Liz and Elaine. And we went back to the little cafe that we took my mum with to as well, back in May, to celebrate the 2 mums' birthdays, and we had a nice a meal there again. Except yet again, their disabled toilet was no good. because I couldn't get in the toilet and shut the door behind me. You know, I don't know if I mentioned that last time. I don't think so, because it must have been after the podcast. I can never know what I've talked about to anybody. Then I went out with my friend Denise, only into our little town centre, and I picked up my new glasses. This is one of the pairs. Very similar shape to what I had before. These are black and grey and white, and my other ones are like a goldy colour with a metal frame rather than a plastic frame. And the lad said to me, he said, "You can, you know, we still do what you've got on." And I don't want them. I want something different, you know, but these aren't that different. They're all right, but I noticed that I can't see close-up things as well. You know, I'm getting longer sighted. Age. Went out to a tenor evening, first Wednesday in the month. Went to the Cozy Club, and the first time for ages I actually really enjoyed my meal. I had their small plates, Spanish chicken, which is, I think they're chicken thighs, in like a tomato sauce with chorizo and butter beans. Really enjoyed that. And because I'd had a small plate, I also had a side dish of dauphinoise potatoes. They weren't very creamy, but they were still delicious. They look crusty on the top, but it looks like they were cooked with more stock than cream, and you know, so that's fine by me, absolutely fine. And then I had a pudding, but I had chocolate brownie, and I'd say that wasn't much to write home about really. Nice, but nothing special. Actually, with the Spanish chicken, I had a bit of sourdough as well, which is nice and chewy. Tom had a go at making sourdough, and it was very nice, very nice. I met Wendy and Amanda last week. Now, I haven't seen them for ages. I used to work with them. Wendy's in her mid-70s, Amanda's younger than me. We went into Worcester, and we had a nice time mooching around, and we went to the cathedral. I did put a post on Instagram of the bells that are in the cloisters, the old bells. They've taken out the bell tower, and some of them go back to like 400 years ago. You know, it's amazing. The age of some of the things in that building is incredible. So we had a nice day there. It was nice, fairly warm. Didn't have to wear a coat. I hate wearing a coat. And we ended up having cake for lunch, because you do, don't you? And I had these lovely, it was a pecan, like a tea loaf, and it had whole pecans in it, and it had a hint of treacle. It was dark, but just a hint of spice, nice texture, and it was topped with coffee buttercream. So I ate all the buttercream and half the cake, and took the other half the cake back home to Tom. It was quite a fair big slab of it, so that was nice. And then, you know, every family seems to have a month that's got more birthdays in than any other month of the year. Excuse me, cold tea. And ours is October. And my nephew's birthday is on the 1st. His mum's is on the 3rd, and my brother's is on the 10th. So last week, Mum took us, my brother and sister-in-law, their 2 boys who are grown up now, Scott and Alec, and me, because I invited myself for a meal, at Ego, which is like an Italian type. They do lots of different types of food. I think there's only 2 branches of it, one in Worcester and one in Bromsgrove. Went for a meal, and I had their Milanese chicken, which basically is a chicken breast that's been hammered thinly, coated in breadcrumbs, and then fried. I've had it as a lunch dish, and it was really tasty, because it comes with a rocket salad. I'm not keen on rocket, but when I had it before, it was quite soft and not too spiky, and it had a lemon, caper and sun-dried tomato dressing, which was lovely. Really enjoyed it, and that's why I ordered it again. I don't know, I've moaned, don't I? But this time the sun-dried tomatoes weren't chopped up or anything. They were just plonked down, and it just it just wasn't the same. I don't know. And there was a little bucket of fries with it. I ate most of them, and my nephew finished the rest off. And then for pudding, I had very nice salted caramel and chocolate tart. A very, very thin slice, but quite heavy, very silky, smooth, and you know, I can put it on the back of the spoon and just lick a bit away at a time. Oh, that was really, really nice. My mum kept putting her face at it, and then she tried a bit. She said, well, actually, that's quite nice. So really enjoyed that. Thanks, Mother. And then today I've just been out with Mum. It's taken me a lot of effort to get out. I want to go and do all these things, but I'm struggling a bit. Unless I take me really strong tablets, and I'm becoming too reliant on them. It's a bit of a worry. Well, you know, you have to plod on. So, I've rattled through that, but it says I've done 34 minutes, so I need to get a move on, because I don't want this to stop and run out of charge. Okay, let's do the winners, and then we'll depart, and I'll do a better podcast next time. The bob along. Now, what I did with the bob along, you could have, you had an entry for just putting it in the bob along, and then you've got an extra entry for scraps and or bubbles on your item if you told me about it, or I could see it easily. So against each entry I put a value of 1, 2 or 3 next to them, depending on how many entries I had for that item. And then I use something called LibreOffice, which is a free office program, very, very similar to Word and Excel. I'd never pay for Microsoft now, because I only need a limited function. And this looks the same as Excel, more or less, and it's very, very easy to use. It probably doesn't have some of the really top-end functions, but I don't need that. I just need to record how much I'm spending on one spreadsheet, and for doing the odd thing on various other spreadsheets. So, using that, I found that I summed all those entries up, and I had 101 entries overall. Then I did a random number generator between 1 and 101 on YouTube, on Google, and it came to 58. Now, Heather has put in loads and loads and loads and loads of entries, and I fully expected Heather to win, but she didn't, because I did a little sum at the side, and when I got to the entry number 58, it's Suzanne Carney. Hello. Now, Suzanne's bought a charity bag from me, so I'll chat to you after you've seen this. You want to get in contact with me, you want to email me actually, Suzanne, and we can talk about what you want for your prize, and whether you want me to post it separately, or shall I put it in one big bag, or whatever. So yes, but as a one-off, I'm going to offer Heather as well a pattern prize. So if you want to contact me, Heather, and see what prize you'd like to me to buy you on Ravelry, that'd be great, up to the value of, I don't know, $10, $12, whatever works for you. Since the you might get quite a bargain there, since the pound's at such an all-time low, I think, really. So yeah, so congratulations to Suzanne and to Heather, and thank you to everybody else who entered the bob along. And then we also had the 600 subs, and I needed you to mention the word knitting in your comment, and I've just gone on to YouTube, and the random comment picker chose Knit Around the Clock. Now, do I know you under any other name? Can you contact me, please? I'll put it down below, but Knit Around the Clock, hello, and congratulations on winning the 600 subs prize, and I will get something out to you. I think what I said was it'll be a pattern prize if you're outside the UK. If you're inside the UK, I will make you a bag and send you something. Okay, so get in contact with me any which way. Okay, so that's lovely. That is all I've got to talk about. I mean, I could waffle on about lots of things, but I'm not going to, because I want to get this out onto YouTube as soon as possible before you all start unsubscribing and thinking I've abandoned you. I haven't. Right, breathe. I'm going to go now. I'll speak to you very soon. It will only be in a couple of weeks. You take care. Thank you for all those that have been asking after me, wondering where I've got to. Thank you for everybody who's bought the charity bags. They will be on the way to you very, very soon. And thank you to the rest of you for watching and taking part. I'm quite enjoying this. Thank you very much. Bye.